Education Today. I'm Rachel Ebig of Katanning Senior High School in the Armstrong School District. On today's show, we're going to take a look at some work by the Katanning TV production students that chronicles a bit of the history and tradition of Katanning High School, which is set to close at the conclusion of this school year. To kick some things off tonight, we're going to go on to the location of Katanning Senior High School. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Roxanne Chrisman. I've been an active member of Student Council for the last 4 years. We do a lot of fun things for Stuco. We provide powder puff, we do things like the volleyball tournament that we do at the holidays, we decorate the halls. We work best when we do things for the community. Last year I was lucky enough to serve as the community service chair when we did a giant fundraiser for James Lindahl. Mini-thon went well. I had help with by Summer Young, and we raised like $6,000 for that boy. Sarah Dunn did a jogging thing for James. We raised a lot of money. This year, in true Riverhawk fashion, we're working with Ford City for community service. Gina Rancher's chairing it, and we're raising money for the LA Taco guy. His son had leukemia. So basically, if you guys can help us out with that, we'd appreciate it, because this school works better when we're all unified and working a greater cause. Stuco has a tendency to give all of its money away to other people. Like, when we do Powder Puff, we give it to Yearbook. Mini-thon, it's a very good cause, but it usually goes to either Four Diamonds, a local cause. We're a charity club mostly, but we do bring in money for ourselves because we have to do that to keep functioning. Our biggest event is Fall Formal. We usually have over 300 people at those things constantly. We bring in a lot of people from other schools because Katanning never seems to date within Katanning. We bring in like probably over hundreds of dollars with that, and the cost of it's never too high because we had a tendency to use the same decorations every year. It was autumn themed for probably my whole high school career. Probably a few years before that, finally we decided to do a new theme this year. We did a 50s dance. For that, usually a group of 10 students went down to decorate the hall. We blew up a whole bunch of balloons. We used ACT stuff. But it was fun. I think people liked the change. It was nice. We brought in a local business to help us out. Kick's Ice Cream Corner, Kristen's Ice Cream Corner, helped us out. Like I said, Stuco has a lot to do with community. They help us out, we help them out, and it brings a sense of unity to the school.
I'm Pat Cavanaugh. I'm the band director at Katanning High School here in the auditorium, and we're going to talk today a few things about some of the musical involvements here at the school that I've been with, both in the productions on the stage that sits behind us and under us, and with the band, both the concert band and marching band. Speak of the Katanning band, because that's where I've spent 22 years, and our job is, as music teachers, to give the kids exposure to as many different styles and facets of music, teach them musicianship, help them, not just teach them, but help them feel and begin to understand the concept of music as it relates to emotion, music as it relates to art and literature. And those are kind of all highfalutin ideas, but what the audience sees is the marching band. And so the job is, for our band here at Katanning, what I've enjoyed the most is we know our place. We are here to support the team. We are here to make our school and make our school proud, that we do performances that represent the discipline and the strength of our school. We support the team whether they're 9-0 or 0-9. We're there when they're there, and but they play. They take the hits. We just get on the bus and go play music. We have to do a halftime, so we want to entertain the audience at halftime. We want to give them music they can identify with. We can't just play pop music all the time because young people like it. We can't just play classical music all the time because I'm a classically trained musician. We have to find that pleasant mix. Some of the things that I recognize from doing shows at Katanning, mostly, I have played shows that are written, Beethoven shows, songs by Mozart, Carmina Burana, which is a big orchestral and vocal piece. We've played hip hop, we've played dance, and pop and rock music, and we've had good success with all of them. Our audiences have been very, very receptive, and the kids have really stepped up and done a nice job. For the band members is the concert band. In the concert band, you sit down, you learn a little more of the musicianship and the blend and balance of playing an instrument. And a lot of kids, it's funny, they don't like marching band because of the time commitment or their lack of readiness to come up into ninth grade and be thrown right onto a football field and marching and playing. It's a very difficult task for a young person, especially a junior high student who's still not grown into their bodies. Our concert band has been very strong. We make good sound, we give them good education. We have done some adjudications. Those are outside judges to listen to our band at different festivals, where you go and you compete against other schools' concert bands. I know for a run there, about 5 of 6 years, we went to Music in the Parks festivals that our kids were proficient enough. They were receiving superior ratings and first place in their division and first place overall. Other facet of what we do here at Katanning is our musicals. They have been very well received. They've been going on since 1986 when this building was first opened. A former co-worker of mine, Mr. Don Fine, was the original procurer of this facility, and I learned a ton from him. I used to come down when I still taught East Brady and help him with sets. I've played in all of his pits for the music. When I was transferred down here and he went on sabbatical, I started taking over the other aspects of the job. I have been with the kids' involvement, because these are kids' productions with adult supervision. I've been the lighting designer, I've been the orchestra conductor, I've been the business manager, I've been the producer. I've never directed. And we spread those around, and we try to give as many kids an opportunity that are interested to get on stage and perform. And it's a 4-month process to develop because of the size of our stage. Every one of our sets we build, that we roll on and off stage, we have to figure out how to make it fit. And we have tryouts usually in November, and we start really after school practices in January. While we're practicing, surrealistic suspension of disbelief. So the audience is watching a story with a bunch of kids telling it and acting it, but they really don't even realize they're just watching a bunch of kids on a stage. So ultimately, the musicals give us a great feeling of accomplishment and success, mostly because the kids get so much out of it. I think all the music things we do, as is the case with most of the school functions, those are when you get the kids to realize their accomplishments and feel the connection to the audience because of their performance.
I'm Mr. Kluken. I'm the director of the musical here at Katanning High School. I'll just give you a little bit of my long background in musicals. It started when I was probably about 16 years old. I started doing stage crew and I went to the junior high first, is where I was hired. And we did 6 junior high musicals at the junior high, which I built sets for, and Miss Gamble was the director. I then transferred up here to Katanning, and I started building sets for Mrs. Crosley. Did that for 5 years, and then unfortunately she was laid off, and we weren't sure if anybody was going to direct. So with that up in the air, I decided I would step in and start directing musicals, and I've directed the past 3 musicals here at Katanning High School. As far as my favorite musicals I've been involved in, 2 are tied. I would say Into the Woods in 2010 was one of my favorites. If you've ever seen it or video of our show, the set was just absolutely incredible. The acting was incredible. We had people tell us that they were from Beverly Hills and none of the schools there could compete with what we did with that show. And then Schoolhouse Rock Live was probably another one that's up there tied, because that was the first one I directed, so it was kind of my first try in it, and it was fun learning process with that one. Some things involved with musicals, some people always asking, what does it take to make the show, and how do we decide on who gets what parts? The main number one thing is auditions. How well prepared you are for auditions, whether you have just brought in the script and you're reading lines, or you've memorized them, you've memorized all the songs and don't need that script or that book in front of you. How much you put into it, facial expressions and emotion, those kind of things. But there are a lot of other things that play into it as well. Different parts are kind of made for different body types. We look at that kind of thing. Your availability. If you're involved in student council and wrestling and you work and all those kind of things, it's not that you may not be good enough for a big part, but maybe a question whether you have the time to commit to musical. When we start in January, it's pretty much every day from January until the last show date in March. So if you have a bunch of job and a bunch of other activities, there's no way you can commit the time to musical to have like a major lead role or anything like that. So there are a lot of things that go into auditioning and getting a part in a musical.
We are now joined by some of Kataning's finest who worked on this video. Welcome to Education Today. Could you please introduce yourselves to our viewers?
Hi, I'm Bailey Denmeyer.
And I'm Brady Chrisman.
Can you tell us about this package and why have you chosen to do this project?
Our package is about the 100 years of Katanning, about those traditions. We do it on Stuco, band, musical, and sports. We found some teachers throughout the high school to help us out and some other people, but mostly on band, Stuco, and the musical because we couldn't find much people to talk about sports.
So is that how you decided on the people you picked for this project?
Yes, because we didn't know who else to go to because we don't really talk to people outside of school, but the teachers have taught there for so many years. We just thought it would be more suitable just to go to them because they're already right there in the high school. So we just went to the classrooms and asked them if they would help us.
What drew you to the topic of this package?
What drew us to the topic is I play softball, I play tennis.
I play football, and I just love sports in general.
And Brady's brother and sister did musical, and he's in band, so it just seemed like it would be a good fit for us to do it as our topic.
What have you learned during this process?
I learned during this process that a lot of things have changed, and I would like to see the older high school get some new traditions back, but the new ones are also as good as well.
What are some of your opinions about the topics you've chosen?
My opinion is I think the sports traditions have not changed much. Musical and band has probably changed a lot, music-wise. New productions are coming out, so it's changed, but sports and the roles and stuff have always been the same, obviously.
Was it hard getting together, finding the people you've interviewed for making this documentary? If so, what was the most challenging part?
It was pretty hard trying to find people to do sports, and trying to coordinate with coaches and stuff, trying to deal with their time wisely. And I don't know, nobody wanted to do sports. Nobody knew a lot of traditions about sports, so we don't have a lot about sports and stuff. So
yeah, because the school's been going on for so long.
Yeah, I'd say that would be the hardest part.
How long is it taking you to put this video together?
Well, it's been, I'd say, about a month and a half, 2 months, and we're still going on with it.
What was it like working on this documentary?
It was pretty fun. I don't know.
At first, I didn't really want to do it, but now that we start doing it, I find it very interesting and cool learning about past stuff.
Yeah, cool learning about the school you're in. Do you have anything to add for the benefit of our viewers?
No, I'm pretty sure that's all for our package.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay, thanks very much.
Yep.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with Armstrong School District's Education Today.
Success. We see it every day. Hundreds of majors and programs, bachelor's degrees to PhDs, small classes, internationally known faculty who are committed to your success. Real-world experiences to guide you on your career and life path. An alumni network 120,000 strong. I'm IUP President Mike Driscoll. Visit us. Find your success at Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
We're back with Armstrong School District's Education Today. Today, we're taking a special look at Katanning High School through the lens of some of the students who will bid it fond farewell this June. Let's take a look at another package put together by AHS-TV production students.
This segment is highlighting the band and sports achievements of Katanning Senior High School. Hello, Mr. Marks. We would like to interview you on some sports achievements that you know of in Katanning High School. What are some major football achievements our team has received?
We've had a pretty decent run overall. Probably the biggest was 1975. They were Whitfield runners-up. Early 80s, late 70s, there was sometimes we were running pretty high in the state. I think we were actually number 1 in the state for a while. At one point, then we ended up losing, got upset in the game. Last year was a great year for us. Some teams were pretty strong. We played in the AAA and had some good seasons too earlier, towards the end of Coach Beckwith's career. Coach Panchik had a good battle with Hopewell. We almost beat the state champs in the first round of the Whitfield playoffs. Coach Fabian last year, he had that undefeated season. We lost in the playoffs, but it was a good season, undefeated. Coach Olam, he's legendary for being tough with the kids and having some pretty good teams as well.
Who are some notable football players?
Ooh. Well, some ones that I can remember, if you ever look in the case out there, you'll see Larry Shepard, he was pretty good. Dio Beck, I believe they were both All-State. I think first team, you had to check that just to make sure. They had good careers. Coach Walker, Eddie Walker down there owns Walker Pontiac, Walker Motors now. He had a good career. Mitch Farrat played at Penn State, played at Buffalo for the Buffalo Bills, Seattle Seahawks. Coach Bowers had a good career. His brothers had good careers. Recent times coming through, Kenny Rowdy Bush, he had some good stats as a running back. Our recent group of kids, this is the big three we had for this year with Dudak, Bowers, and Toy. They had some great seasons. We've had good linemen the whole way up through. It goes on. It'll take a long time to.
Can you give me some reasons why some of those people are so notable?
Just they worked hard in the field. They stood out, achieved big success. Great people outside of football as well.
Can you tell me what some of their positions were that they played?
Let me see. Shepard's, I'm trying to think. Larry was probably on the line. Coach Bowers, Coach Bowers kicked. Tight end, Mitch, wide receiver, tight end type deals and receivers. Rowdy Bush was a running back. Toy, we know, is a quarterback.
All right. That's all of our questions. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Hello, Mr. Kavanaugh. We'd like to interview you on some of the achievements in the band.
Standards in the Katanning have been the Halloween parade, light up night, Memorial Day, occasionally a Veterans Day parade back in the old days, and we do our spring concert and winter concert. And ultimately for the school itself, we're kind of like part of that whole cheering support section for the football games. A lot of schools have pep bands for their basketball, and they have different other activities. We are unable to do all that, but basically we do football games. We're there to support the guys playing football, because right now they're all guys. I don't think they've had girls yet, and entertain the crowd at halftime. And those achievements vary because you have to still maintain some sensibility of musical correctness, but you don't want to bore your audience with stuff that they don't want to hear. At the same time, I've gone 22 years here, picking music that is achievable by the kids. They have to work at it. Pleasant for the audience to listen, and that does include everything from Beethoven to pop and dance and hip hop stuff that we've done with some success. So I've been very lucky, and the band as a group has been willing to follow what I suggested and play the music. And even if they don't particularly like that particular genre, they'll still do a pretty good job. Entertain the crowd, support the team, do the local stuff, and then some real musicianship and learning in the concert band.
Who are some notable band members?
They would be strong instrumentalists. A lot of them would take lessons privately to enhance their skills. And then they contribute to the overall success of the band because there's kids that can't or won't go do that. Usually in what we do in the concert band, the marching band, I think successful students, drum majors are usually good players and good marchers, so they call them successful, and they were picked for their leadership ability. So it has a little bit of everything. When you go to district band, I get to sort of select how I get kids into district band, sometimes by audition, sometimes just by virtual numbers. It's almost like an NFL draft in a very small and less expensive way. And once they get to district band, they have to audition on their instrument to go to region band. And that takes, like region band takes about 1/6 of the state over on this northwest and midwest part of Pennsylvania. And then from region band, if you audition, you're the best top 1 or 2 in your section. You go on to the all-state band or wind ensemble. And that's a pretty good accomplishment. And we've had years that the Engler, Kristen Engler and Sarah Engler, 2 sisters that played flute, they both took private lessons because private teachers usually are instrumentalists that play that specific instrument. This year I have a couple of kids going to district band that are pretty successful. Sarah Dunn, Cassie Klaus, who was the band's drum major. But there's lots of good kids. I really have had an easy time of doing this because the band does get to be kind of family oriented because we spend so much time together, you know, weeks and weeks in the summer.
Definitely.
And stuff like that. And then when you get to concert band, things get a little slow. You know, some kids, they like the activity of the marching band because it's you know, you're going to football games, you're hanging out with your friends, it's very social. They hate concert band because you got to sit and be a little more disciplined. The other kids, they don't want to do marching band because it takes too much of their time and they don't want to work that hard, or they're not prepared. I think some ninth graders have come in and they haven't been prepared. So the success rate, it could be anything from making it to All-State to being picked for drum major to having a solo in the concert. But there's many, many successes.
Has the band as a whole accomplished anything phenomenal?
Well, I mean, it's a high school thing. I suppose if you could compare our situation to like a band down the road from us in North Vandergrift, Kiski. Kiski's a competition band. They're very successful. They win all the time. They have a brutal schedule. They rehearse. They have tons of staff. We're not going to work at that level. Success-wise, though, there was a period of time throughout the 2000s when the new millennium came through. I think we did 5 trips in 6 years with the band to an outside festival, an adjudication festival. On 5 of those 6, we received superior ratings and first place in our division and first place overall, it's a concert band festival. And it's nice because that's the musicianship part you're looking for. So that would probably be the biggest achievement if you're looking at it from purely a musical or a competition standpoint. But I think the fact that some kids come in 9th grade and they stick it out all the way through their senior year, no matter what happens, that's a major accomplishment too. Because this is a pretty rough thing to get through for 4 years. It takes up so much of your time, especially now when kids need jobs and money and everything else.
Yeah. So, how do you think the new Armstrong School District school band will turn?
Say new Armstrong
How do you
High
think
School.
the new Armstrong High School band will turn out?
The potential is there for a really great playing band, and you know, we're playing and marching because marching band's the first thing the audience is going to see. We have yet to know who's going to be the band director. It's not going to be me. My plan is to retire this year. So it could be Mr. Vaneski, who's the band director of Ford City, and he's been at Ford City now I think 5 years, and he's got his program working, so his kids are always ready to perform. The combination of the 2 schools, you may not have this 150-piece band, which you're surely capable of in this district. It's a big enough school district. But regardless of the numbers, I think the students that go up there and participate from both schools can make it. I think there'll be many shades of what Kataning's band looks like with both the members in it. It should have a flavor of what Kataning has done because Mr. Vaneski is a former student of mine, and there are some things that we do here that he likes, and he does those with his Ford City band. And I think if he's the director, he'll also follow that. Now, if he chooses to go to another area in that music department up there, and they bring someone else in, then it'll be a fresh start for everybody. And I mean, that could be wonderful for a lot of kids. So I expect it to be between 80 and 100 kids, and I would expect to see it similar to what the Kataning band does at the present time.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
I enjoyed it. Good luck, guys.
What are some of your opinions on the topics you've chosen?
Well, I think it's really, really great, all the things that has happened throughout the years of Kataning, all the things that we've accomplished, and it's a really just great thing that we've done, and it's going to be a shame to see all of Kataning's history kind of be lost throughout the years in the new school.
Was it hard getting together, finding the people you've interviewed, and making this documentary? And if so, what was the most challenging part?
It really wasn't hard at all because, I mean, our faculty and staff's really good at our school and they're always cooperative and available to help us with anything we're doing.
How long did it take you to put this video together?
It took us a little while. I mean, it was a lot of work, but the three of us pulled together and we got it done relatively quick.
What was it like working on this documentary?
It was a lot of fun. It was really interesting. It was a little time consuming sometimes filming it, trying to get everything right, but other than that, it was a good experience and I would have loved to do it again.
Do you have anything to add for the benefit of our viewers?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, that concludes our show for today. Our thanks goes out to the TV production students of Katanning Senior High School, led by their teacher, Mr. Don Swanson. They were our film crew today. Please join us again next week for another look at Armstrong School District. DVD copies of this and all Education Today programming can be requested by contacting Chris Garatano, Multimedia Technician at Katanning Junior High School. Visit our website for updated information about the district and have a great week.